Hello guys and gals, and welcome back to another episode of Raven's Reviews. Today we have Curse of the Dead Gods. Now Curse of the Dead Gods is a roguelike dungeon crawler played from a top-down perspective where you play as an explorer of these three dungeons in search for money, power and eternal life. Now the good thing about this game is that the dungeons are procedurally generated and are each filled with deadly traps, hazards and hostile enemies. Now as the player progresses, as you can see in the background below, they collect new weapons and unlock new upgrades, and you will slowly earn crystal skulls and jade rings, which can be used to purchase permanent upgrades. Now, as you can see here in the background, this is the permanent weapon unlocking. These are your altars that you can spend jade skulls on, which you saw in the start. The two ones that I have there that have obviously been upgraded, that's why I have two up here on the left hand side. Now we're going to go over there, and obviously we've already grabbed weapons. We looked at both of them at the start. Now these are your three dungeons you can explore, as well as your bonus event dungeons at the bottom. So we're just going to pick a level 1 dungeon. It's nice and simple, and this is how the dungeons are laid out. So the dungeons are laid out like this, where you can get anything appear like on the key explains on the left hand side. So we've got gold, and a relic to start with. I'm just going to choose gold, because gold very early on in game is good, because it means that you can then later on, if the path so lets you, buy weapons, buy relic upgrades, and just even upgrade the current weapons that you have. So in this game, guys, you will slowly start to understand the game mechanics, but I will walk you through it now. So as you might have seen there, as we entered the dungeon, we got a plus 20 above our heads. Now this leads to our corruption bar, which is in the bottom right hand side of our screen. It says 20 out of 120. Now one of my permanent upgrades is that instead of it being 100, which is its base stat, it is 120. Now every time you enter a new floor or a new room on this dungeon, you will gain 20 corruption. As you will see once later on in the gameplay, once this bar gets full, the three triangles above our bar, one of those three triangles will fill up and we'll get hit with a deficit, such as you now take more damage, or you lose gold upon getting hit, or you don't have a torch anymore so you can't fight in direct sunlight, which gives you a boost to damage as well as awareness of what's around you, such as traps and lighting these altars to provide more light when you fight. Once those three squares are done and they're full, there is no way to remove the corruption. So it is in your best interest to always make sure that you try to keep your corruption as low as possible. Now you can do this by certain upgrades on weapons, will allow you to lower your corruption once you kill an enemy with that weapon, or relics, or trading in stuff that you find from your loot. Now, as you can also see, corruption from rooms isn't the only way that you can gain it. You can also gain it by being attacked by certain attacks from certain enemies. And typically anything purple is going to cause you to get added corruption. Unfortunately, I got hit there, so I got another plus 20. Now what I just found there on the floor is called a relic. They can be randomly found in chests, or through relic rooms, or they can be dropped by enemies. So I got quite lucky there and I got that relic. So that relic then allowed me to have more health upon kills, I believe. I believe that's what that was. Or you can also find them in chests like this, which this one allows every greed kill to refill one of my stamina squares. Now we're going to pick a random room here. I don't know what's in this room. Luckily I've played this game before and I understand how this room works. So in this room there is a big guy in the middle with a gold pot on his head. Once I activate him, there will be a timer start to count down and enemies will spawn. Once I kill the enemies, the timer stops, and whatever the amount the timer is in, he drops that amount of gold for me. So it's in my best interest to kill all these enemies fast. And not only that, but you may have also noticed that when I kill an enemy, as you can see there at the bottom right, or briefly, I had a ×1 kill counter. So the more you kill enemies close together or in tandem, the higher your kill counter gets, and the more gold you will receive once you've finished off all of the enemies. Like there, I got a ×4 kill counter, and therefore when I collected all of that money, not only did I get a bonus from killing the enemies, I got a bonus from collecting the gold as well. Now, let's go through the rest of the UI that's on our screen. So, obviously, health bars on the bottom left. Next to that, in the center, middle, bottom, is this little totem. Now, when I'm in sunlight or near torch, or when I've got my torch out, this glows gold or yellow. And when it doesn't, as you can see, it goes purple. Now, without any massive detriments from corruption, you will always deal more damage when you are in sunlight. So whether that's from an enemy that's on fire, from an altar, from your torch, it's all very useful, and it's always important to have stuff lit around you, because not only does it allow you to see traps and allows you to see the rest of the playing field and the more enemies that you have around you, it also allows you to deal more damage. Now, that being said, like I mentioned earlier on, you can get corruptions that will take that option away from you, or even deal harm to you because you're in light, because you're now like photosensitive or something. So the rest of the mechanics here, so moving along to the right hand side next to our gold counter, which is in between our corruption and this counter, which I'm now going to explain. Now this is called a favor counter. Now I believe this is more of a late stage game, as in you have to have at least beat one of the first bosses to unlock this. I may be wrong. Now favors are used to re-roll what's in these effectively shops, and they just refresh what's ever in there. However, once you've used them all, that is it. You can't use them anymore for your run, unfortunately. So that's it. So corruption, gold, you got your favor counter, your sun indicator, your health bar. Now we'll go through the weapons. So obviously X is your torch. They can be used to light altars, light enemies on fire, as well as just provide you light to stop yourself from running into traps that you won't be able to see without it. Now you've got square, which is your primary attack, triangle, which is your secondary, and circle, which serves as a heavy. Now next to those, you'll see these 3 totem heads. And these are literally what they're called. They are called totems. So your red totem increases your health, your blue totem increases your damage, and your green totem also increases your loot finding and gold gaining capacity. So you may want to get those up. It may be that you don't want to go so much for weapons and you want to upgrade your totems. You have more health, or you have more attack, or you find more gold to then purchase those weapons later on in a run. So it's entirely up to you as the player. Also in this game, guys, there is a stamina bar. As you can see, these 5 little or 6 little circles, squares rather, around me indicate stamina. Now you use stamina at the end of every combo, when you dodge roll, or when you block. Now there is a parry system in the game, so if you're a Dark Souls or Elden Ring fan, that may appeal to your best interest for sure. Unfortunately, it doesn't for me, so I just dodge roll a lot. And as you can see here, I just opened up the inventory so you guys can see. So this is how the inventory works. Obviously, you can see all your weapons at the top and all of the bonuses that they give. Your relics underneath, which I have 2 of. Your corruption, and you can hover over to see what deficits they give you and stuff like that. And you can also see these top 3 bonuses just under this lovely picture of me in the top left. Now these bonuses are ones that I've bought using Jade Rings and I've collected and I've put on. The left hand side one increases my corruption bar to 120 instead of 100. The middle one increases my torch radius, I believe. And the last one increases my stamina. Now this is a corruption, so I have an Uric Malediction, or oh my god, I can't say that. But as you saw there, now when I lose health, I will also lose gold, and my health has been reduced by 25%. So you want to try to delay the corruption as much as possible Once you have been corrupted fully for these solid blocks, there is no way to get rid of them until you have completed your run, or you die. One of the two. Those are the only two ways for you to get rid of full blocks of corruption. So it is in your best interest to keep your corruption bar as low as possible, especially bearing in mind that every time you go through a door, you will receive 20 corruption. But for now, guys, that's it. I'm going to leave you with the rest of this gameplay. Please let me know in the comments below if this game interests you and you'd like to see more stuff like this. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Hit the notification icon so you know when all of my videos go live. It's completely free, guys, and it means a lot to me as well. If you want to follow my other socials down below where you can watch me on Twitch, feel free. But for now, guys, I'm going to leave you to it. Have a blessed day, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.